You alright there, Deep?
Oh, yeah. Hello.
Oh, my phone's going insane. I've just realised I forgot to put the game on. So at least it's got something in the background rather than just a blank space. I'll do that now. I think it's go. Yeah, it seems to be going. Is it?
We're live.
Yeah, I said going, but I wasn't sure if I'd set it going in time. Yeah. Fucking hell, my phone's been going mental. Right, I need to turn the bloody sound off because it's. Right, so we're up and running anyways, just nobody on. I'll get Phil to put a link up on the sites.
That should help. So where do we start? It's been a moving day.
Oh, I don't know, where do we start? Oh shit, on all this, I hope if I get it right, on all the sites, we yeah, so, what do you want to talk about first?
Come on, let's just go with the European Super League. That's the hot topic, right?
And it just, I don't know if I said on there that at Anfield, they're literally taking down all the banners as we speak and all the flags on the, at the ground, on the Kop, I mean, all the flags and banners, they're all being taken down. The fans are
Yeah.
just up in arms.
I'm
Like,
kind of yeah. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised with how the reaction has been.
I
I
don't.
didn't think things would be so. How do we say? Like
So against it, do you mean?
so fast. Yeah, so fast and so people would be so loud with their voices against it.
Yeah, I got to
Being
admit, I
disgruntled and yeah.
I thought some might be, might back it, but it's no, there's nobody backing it.
Yeah, I
What's
said
a
it
word
would
beginning with F that isn't a swell? Flip, thank flip. I couldn't think of one. I should have gone all Father Ted and said feck, shouldn't I? Oh, you wouldn't know Father Ted, would you? Have you ever seen Father Ted?
I've seen the memes of it. That I can
Ah,
say.
right.
Memes and gifs.
All right. So you do have an idea then. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have the idea about Allo Allo. I just haven't watched it, so
You don't
but
want to watch Hello Hello. It was crap. Honestly,
no, but
awful.
I've been told that it's so bad it's good.
No, it was just crap. Honestly,
Good
I
news.
hated it. I wouldn't. I never watched that trash. Honestly, it really wasn't good. So it's just me and you so far today, then.
Yeah, and there's no
Yeah.
one tuning in anyways.
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking that I wonder if I should post up an advert on this site to say we're going to live stream. Ah, I put it on my Patreon as
Possibly.
well, couldn't I?
Yeah, and people can also tune in later on.
I don't know.
Like there is 186 views on our stream yesterday.
Was there? No way.
Yeah,
But he only put the link up a few. I forgot to tell him, didn't I? So he only put the link up. He would have only put a link up about 4 hours ago or so.
yeah.
Wow. I wouldn't have thought many people had watched that, considering it's like 4 hours long.
Oh, but you don't have to watch 4 hours to register
That's
as a
true.
view, though.
You could just watch bits of it, I guess. Yeah, I wasn't thinking of that. Did you watch the Formula One yesterday, by the way, before we start? While we're waiting for anybody to come along, so we can discuss it.
That isn't my thing.
Innit?
I don't
I
watch
didn't know if you
Formula
did.
One.
That's why I was asking. because you haven't mentioned it. You seem to like every sport, so I wasn't sure what your.
That is one sport in quotation marks that I have never ever gotten into. I just find it boring.
It
I don't know
has
why.
been, it has been, but this last 2 years, last year and this year has been brilliant. This year's been the two races so far just been amazing. So yeah. So we've got one concurrent viewer. Let me guess, that's you watching yourself.
Oh yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Obviously, it has to be me. I have to see how the
Why do
stream
you?
is going.
Yeah. You're just too
Like you,
vain.
like
That's
we
what it
have
is.
no, no,
You're
no.
just vain.
We have the history of recording a podcast of 3 hour long without one person having his speaker on. Come on.
Oh, I can't believe anybody would be that stupid. Who was that? Must have been Abid.
Oh yeah, let's say it's him because nobody knows, right? Come
I
on.
hope not. I hope nobody knows. If
Everybody knows
anybody
it's you.
remembers, I'm in trouble.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows. It's an open secret.
That it was
This you
you.
can
Was it
call
you?
upon.
Was it you? It was,
No,
wasn't it?
come on.
I can't think who else it could be. Billy? Could it be Billy?
Yeah, blame it on an Evertonian. That's what Liverpoolians
That's
do.
what I always do, mate. It's the only way to go. The only way to go. Oh, right. So what? You. Cool. I was just thinking, oh, we got a message. No, it's you. It's like, oh, two views
Don't get
now. We
overexcited.
doubled now. It's doubled in views.
It's so slow on your end. It was 2 viewers
Yeah, it
maybe
was
three
2 views a
minutes
while
ago.
ago,
4.
but then it dropped back down to
Yeah.
none, and then it went back up to one, and now it's two again. Woo! So anyway, are we going to start, or are we going to start with the ESL, or are we going to start with Jose?
ESF. That's the bigger topic, right? Because there's so many things to say about it, even within less than 24 hours.
Which, Jose or the ESL? This is the thing, or the
ESF.
new Champions League thing. I mean, there's plenty to go on, isn't there, at the moment?
This ESL and the new Champions League thing, that would probably be the starting point. That
Okay.
should be. Because whether people were pro Jose or anti Jose, everybody knew it was coming. It wasn't a matter of if, right? Like we discussed yesterday, it's when.
Yeah, that's true.
He was a dead man walking, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I did say it wouldn't be long before he'd be gone, didn't I? So Jose was hardly expected.
Yeah, so Klopp has come out and said he wants to discuss with the owners, right?
Yep, said he wants it. It's all about greed, and he's not gonna stick with it. He'll walk away. He will walk away.
Yeah, and like him or hate him, but he's the type of guy who actually lives and breathes
Yeah,
vicariously through the supporters.
he understands it.
Yeah. He's a passionate guy. He comes with his flaws, granted, but he's a very passionate guy who lives and breathes football, the ins and outs of the little things. Like, he understands what it means to fans winning the Merseyside derby, for example.
Exactly. I mean, he is very much. That's one of the big problems we've had this season. Is you know, obviously, it's just not the same for him. You know, it's like he is very much, he feeds off the fans and the fans feed off him. And it's
So if the fans start protesting, then
what the fans
the
already
likelihood
are.
would be
They've already
high.
put back. Didn't I send you the picture? They put the things up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What I'm saying is, if the fans are not protesting and he's someone who lives and breathes to them, then the likelihood of things turning out positive with any meeting is very, very small, I would say.
The only
Don't you
thing that
agree?
the only chance is if the owners back down. And can you see them doing that? Because
But
that's
they
a
are, it's not, they're not like the ones that, let's say, Chelsea or Spurs or Arsenal, who are just in it because it's something that can make more money. They're the ones that are pushing for it, right? It's like
yeah.
they're the offenders.
They're the worst of
And
the
and
lot.
the likes of Chelsea, yeah, the likes of Chelsea and Arsenal are more like guilty by association, right?
Well, from what Ed Two's been telling us, obviously, Chelsea and Arsenal just wanted to, just wanted to not push it. They want it to happen, but weren't there to push it. They just wanted it to
Yeah, it's more like
take
they don't
easy.
want to miss out if something big happens, right?
Yeah, they weren't
Financially
looking for
speaking.
this. This isn't what they wanted at all. It's quite worrying.
And how can you expect someone who is likely to be vice chairman back down? Come on.
We
I'm
can but
telling you,
hope, because
it's
if
just
they
this
don't back
American
down,
thing,
he
right?
will walk.
Yeah, but it's the American thing because they don't completely get this, do they?
No, they don't, sadly. I don't know why they don't get it. I mean, I just don't understand what they. No. It's just really worrying this, because if Klopp goes, that's a massive problem. That's probably the biggest problem you can imagine, isn't it, for Liverpool? Like,
Yeah, the hardest person to replace would be Klopp, right? Right now.
exactly. You could replace just about anybody else in the club, but Klopp, you can't replace him. Is it replaceable? There isn't another Klopp, is there? Let's be honest. Who do you bring in
Maybe
to
maybe
replace
the
Klopp?
owners. Me, I would bring. Come on, you
I
know
thought
who
you were
I'm
going to
gonna
say
bring, right?
you. You? No, I don't think you'd be a good choice.
Well, you know who I'm gonna bring if
I
I
mean,
have the
obviously
ability
there's
to
me.
bring the manager. Ah no, come on. I don't want to ruin Liverpool that much. I
Um,
have enough respect for them.
you want someone like Jose or someone to come in, don't you?
No, Hutter, come on.
Yeah, but he's already just taken a job, hasn't he?
Oh, come on. There is gonna be a release clause there, anyways.
Yeah, true, but
I don't know why, but that seems to be the new trend in Germany. Release clauses
is
for
it like
managers.
Spain where they have to have one then?
No, I think
No.
it's an optional thing.
All
Yeah, I
right.
don't think it's a compulsory. That is what I understand.
I didn't
It's
know
a
that.
growing trend.
I assumed it was like Spain where they had to.
No, it wasn't around 2 years ago, for example.
I never knew that. I just assumed, because Spain, I know you have to legally. I just assumed it was an EU thing rather than a Spanish only thing.
Maybe if they changed the rules recently, then maybe I might be wrong. But there wasn't this trend a few years ago. Managers just came and went, came and went, but it wasn't like you meet the clause and then you move around. I have enough respect for Liverpool to not say Jose and say someone who I actually like.
Yeah, I know you love Addy Hutter for some reason. Don't know what it is about him you like. I've been trying to do the research on him, but every time I try and do it, I've run out of minutes to watch how his team plays. On the Y Scout, so I haven't been able to.
Yeah, his team score a lot of goals. That is the fun. And when you don't have emotional investment, it's quite fun. Like they're a bit like Atalanta. They're entertaining to watch. and they also take unfancied players who are either just starting to grow in reputation, or players who have once had huge huge wonder kid tags behind them but have relatively flopped, and then they resurrect them. So
Mm.
I just like watching them sometimes.
I've heard a
That
lot
is
of
the
good
thing.
things about him, but like I've never actually had the chance to sit down and watch him play, and I keep wanting to because I've got that manager profile to write, but I just never have any minutes left on Y-Scout when I go to watch it because I've always used them watching players for a player profile. So, and I don't like to write the profile until I've watched the teams play. You know what I mean? And see what style he likes and how he gets them to play, rather than just taking the word of what other people write about them. Because you tend to find that what other people write is a load of bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah, everybody has their own different point of view as well,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
But I mean, you just tend to find that most of the stuff written in the media, especially English language media these days, they've got no tactical idea at all about the game. They think everything's a press, or you know what I mean. If it's German, it's got to be a high press. Doesn't matter if there's no press in evidence. They'll talk about gegenpressing and all that, won't they? Stuff. They've just got this mindset where they don't actually watch what's happening. They just decide in advance what they're going to
Yeah, and
see.
if there is a young manager who has a defensively solid team, it's the new Jose or it's the mini Jose or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. They don't. They never see any
Like
differences
I never understand how Julian Nagelsmann is the new Jose.
Yeah, no, I don't see any. I don't see any comparison at all. The only thing. Oh no, take that back. I do see one comparison, and that's the he draws up the big what do you call it? The folders. The uh, research on each team he faces and the players and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, but
Like goes through
everybody
this.
does these days.
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. That
that's
is
strange.
the only thing I could see. That's what I'm saying. I don't see how he's mini Jose. That is the one thing I can think of. I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah, and even that isn't something Jose brought.
No, exactly.
Just ask just ask Pep Guardiola how much research Bielsa had
Yeah,
done about Barcelona when they were in
yeah.
Spain.
And Pep Guardiola, even when he was managing in the third tier in a regional league, he was doing this. Because I'm in the middle of writing an article on Pep's Barcelona, and some of the things you're thinking, no wonder he did well there. He was putting full-time resources against and most of the teams he were facing was part-time teams. And he's saying, if I could make it work here, it showed that my ideas would work anywhere. No, it was working because you had the full-time resources, you had spies in the press and everything reporting back on what other teams did and all kinds of stuff like that. You had your players were fit and were full time and fitter than all the others and stuff like that. You had a big advantage. Like,
Oh, Barry's on board.
yeah, I just messaged him and told him to get on. So glad to see he got on. I'm assuming that's Bazza in Louth anyway.
Has to be.
Yeah, yeah, he's just said. Bless him. He's a good lad, Bazza. I'm saying that because he's listening. Obviously, I wouldn't be saying it otherwise. He'll be sending me abuse on the phone in a minute. Right, Bazza.
And I'm just wondering how are AC Milan and Arsenal in this ESL thing?
Do you know what? That was one of the questions I was thinking about when I was thinking earlier. I was going to write down a bunch of questions to ask you, to ask whoever came on, to discuss about. And that was one of the things. It's purely must be because they see themselves as being the money. You know what I mean? Having enough money because it can't be there for.
Probably, yeah, because they have bigger number of fans. But if it's just about fans, then I'm no disrespect. Arsenal and Man City, come on, it's apple and oranges. Man City don't have as much appeal worldwide. If it's just about fans, then
Arsenal have got. You'd be surprised. Arsenal have a huge following.
yeah, that is what I'm saying. Arsenal have a huge
Yeah,
following.
so do
Man
AC
City
Milan. I
don't.
mean, sorry, AC Milan. I mean, so they have a
Yeah,
huge
AC
following.
Milan as well. I know.
So
I know. That is what I'm saying. Man City,
yeah,
even Spurs, they're not global giants when you're just talking about fans and everything. And I don't think if you rely on European supporters, this is going to work at all. The only hope for the ESL is the American market, the Asian market. I think that is where
yeah,
the push is coming from as well, right?
and it's not going to. You know, that's not a long term thing because most of them just follow. You know, to get into it to follow a player. A large proportion of them.
Yeah, obviously, because like PSG, nobody really talked about them before they had the money because they didn't have the players. Now, then they have the global recognized names of Zlatan, Cavani, later on Neymar. That is just you follow the players. There are a lot of people this side of the world who just follow the players. They're not even supporters of the team. If the player moves around, then they're the supporter of the new team.
Yeah, exactly. That's. I mean, I've got a friend like that. He's from Egypt. Obviously, follows Liverpool. He says his team's Man United, like, but it now Salah's at Liverpool. Liverpool's his team, obviously, but Man United still as well. I mean, how does that work? And he doesn't mind Villa now because obviously they've got Egyptian players. And then he also
Crazy.
says he's
Yeah.
Real Madrid because he likes Cristiano Ronaldo, so he became Juventus when he moved to Juventus as well. And it's like
Oh, I know.
I can't follow
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But those kind of fans, they don't really
Yeah, but
spend
that is
money on the.
normal. Yeah, that is normal here.
Yeah, but they aren't the fans that are going to spend huge sums following the team around. They aren't the ones that are going to watch them on, go out of their way to sign up to all kinds of streaming services to watch the team. They're not going to spend much money on merchandising. They'll only spend small sums, like the odd shirt. That's it, isn't it?
Probably. That is probably the most they're gonna go out of their way to do. Buy a shirt, maybe. They're not gonna go to the live games that often as well, if at all.
It's just such a mess, this, isn't it? I mean, it's the end. It would destroy football if it goes ahead. It would destroy football if it goes ahead. It's just can't be allowed, can it? But like Ed 2 was saying, they're already Liverpool and Man United are already taking it to court just to make sure they can't stop it in court. I mean, it's scary, mate.
They're just so adamant about it now. It's like nothing could unite Liverpool and Manchester United for God knows how many years. And now
Yeah.
this bloody ESL, and they're like the greatest lovers. They're like the greatest siblings around.
Well, I think this is something that will unite every fan because I've not seen anybody. I mean, you look on the Villa site. I mean, and they're on about it like. So they're all saying it's terrible. The Forest fans, the Leeds fans, Rangers fans, everybody, every site I edit, I've seen the same thing. We're not, it's a ridiculous idea. It's terrible. It can't be allowed. So I don't think anybody agrees with it.
Someone is calling them the same list six, not the big six, the same list six.
Yeah, that suits them. Absolutely does suit them.
More appropriate, I must say.
Ah, shit. Yeah, that really does suit it, doesn't it? It's the perfect thing. Shameless six. I like that. So, what do you think the chances are of it actually going ahead?
I don't think it's gonna go ahead anytime soon, but it's not gonna be that far down the road as well.
Yeah, I think
Like I
this.
said yesterday, it's just the starting point. It's just gonna be something we look upon 5, 10 years back and say, oh, that is where the things really kicked on.
Yeah, I think it's just moved it forward, hasn't it?
And if teams like Liverpool and United start grinding the teeth and fighting for it, eventually something has to give, right?
Yeah, but I mean they've already got Chelsea and who was it? He said who was it? Chelsea,
Spurs and
Spurs. That was it.
Arsenal.
Are already unhappy with what they're doing. If they can also, if it falls apart that quickly, it's like well, that's a good question. Nagy wants to know if Klopp goes, who takes over. I mean, that's a tough one, mate. Because
Stevie G,
would he come back
and
to that?
I no,
I don't think he. I don't think he'd want to be involved, would he? He's, you know what I
I
mean.
don't know,
I
I don't know,
know
but
he's a bit. He's
that
from
is what
Liverpool.
FSG will try to do, right?
Yeah, but
FSG will
he's.
try to do
Yeah, that's
something
right.
like that
Yeah, they'd want a
to get the
legend in
fans on board.
to get the fans on board, but that wouldn't happen. He wouldn't. I don't think he'd do that because he'd have to face his family for starters. I really don't know. I really, it'd have to be someone like Pep Linders or someone, but I can't see why any of them would take. Why would you want to? I mean, this is you could end up never being able to manage in normal game again. And yes, Bazis, Ed too did say this was always going to happen at some point, but like this is just seems to have moved it forward 10 years. It's actually made it imminent rather than being something that's just over the horizon. If you get what I mean, does that make sense? I don't
Yeah,
know.
but the thing is, like you said, with how things are going on right now, if Liverpool and Manchester United and some other teams start trying to push through the deal even more, and let's say some teams drop out, other teams might enter themselves in,
I
and
can't see
then
the
and then
Germans
they,
doing it though, and I can't see any of the French teams doing it because haven't PSG and that already said no, thank you. So
Bayern probably want a discussion
I thought
to
Bayern
see
had
what.
already said no thanks. Thought that was
No, but
all.
what my point is, let's say it's just United and Liverpool from the English league that is pushing through. The FA has to sanction them, right? Has to punish them if they
Yeah, they'd have to.
don't get.
Well, they'll have to kick them out, won't they? If they carry
Even
on
if
with
they
it.
don't, let's not say they're gonna get
Lampard's
the
looking for a
harshest
new job.
penalty. Even if it is just a 10 points deduction, that's a huge punishment for them. And then if that happens, let alone a 25 points deduction or even a relegation or something, then they're again gonna fight for it even more.
Uh,
So I think, like you said, this is just gonna
yeah,
push things on even faster.
Bazza was asking, didn't Dortmund say no? And yes, they did. And thankfully, I don't think Lampard's in the frame, Nagy. Thankfully. Maybe he could take
Yeah,
over at Man United
let's bring Lampard in.
if Ole decides he wants out because of it. He could always take over at United, couldn't he? To be honest, I've got to say, I don't think anybody within football, any of the players and that, I don't think any of them are going to want this either. None of the players
You don't know that.
but they're not going to say, they can't come out publicly and say that without their job, you know what I mean? Because they're getting paid by these people, so they're probably not allowed to come out and say it. But I'll guarantee you, if you asked them in private, I don't think any of them would want this.
Yeah, but let's say you're a Neymar or a Haaland or someone who is out for a big contract, and if that is the only way teams are
Yeah.
gonna be able to afford you, then money is the issue, right? The whole ordeal has come about because of the financial gains that can be had in the short term.
That's the thing, isn't it? There's a
right?
few. There will be a few that just think with their wallet. You're right. Haaland,
I don't even
Ibrahimovic.
think it's a few. I don't think we can even say it's a few. It's a lot.
Yeah, but most of them know that this would be, that this would stop them playing in things like the World Cup and that.
But for how long? That would be the question, right?
Well,
How long will they actually be banned for?
the only thing that can, well, this is what they're saying. They'll set up their own, is what the suggestion is, if that happens. And they reckon
Yeah,
they'll take the best
something.
players into it and all that. But they've got to keep the best players in the first place for that to happen. And it's all very well saying that they can pay more, but if there's a competition that it could end up like the darts where it was two. I don't know if you ever watched darts, but it fell apart. It was one of the most popular sports on TV in the UK, and then it fell apart because they had two concurrent championships, that were in opposition, or like boxing, similar to boxing. That's what we'll end up with, where there's all the belts, and which one's important. None of them matter anymore, do they? You end up with
No,
35
no one is
champions
any
in every
better.
weight, don't you?
And everybody is undefeated and nobody is facing each other anyway.
Yeah, because they won't fight anybody decent because then they might lose their belt.
Yeah,
That's what you end
I
up with.
agree.
Nobody will be playing everyone. Trust Bazza to know darts players. Remind him of. He probably likes Jockey Wilson because they were the same build.
Mm,
Do you know Jockey Wilson? You probably don't. He's Scottish.
no,
Google him, and you'll
I
see
know.
why I'm saying he's the same build as Bazza. In fact, he looks a lot like Bazza. Actually, thinking about it, could be brothers.
Yeah, brothers, long lost brothers.
Have you seen? Have you
yeah,
seen him?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely looks the same, don't they?
Oh, it's like they're just carbon copies of each other.
Yeah. It's alright laughing there, Bazza, but stop sending abuse to me phone then. He's not, I'm just saying. Same gene pool. You've never been in a pool in your life, you can tell.
No, neither has he.
Yeah.
He plays darts for
Yeah, well, he floats well.
yeah. Something similar happened in cricket as well.
Did it? Is that what
With
happens with all the T10 and all
Turkey.
T20? It is
No, no,
T10, isn't
no,
it
no,
now?
not now.
Oh right,
It
not
is
now.
T20 and T2. Yeah, before my time, maybe in the 1980s or something like that. There was kind of a breakaway because
Really?
because players weren't that highly paid, so
Ah
some
right.
folks.
But yeah, but
Yeah, but
it's a bit different. They're highly
that's
paid
different,
in
right?
football, aren't they? So there's no
Yeah, that's
excuse.
the thing. Yeah, and something similar happened in chess as well in the 2000s,
Did you say
early
chess?
2000s. Yeah.
Chess? Are you seriously comparing this to chess?
No, like multiple championships.
Yeah, I know what
Straight
it's.
away. One is not recognized with another.
Yeah, I don't know what the money's like in chess, but yeah.
You would be surprised.
Yeah,
If
I
you're
was going
good
to say I
enough,
wouldn't
you
have thought
might
they
pull it
need
off.
money because they tend to be rich people involved in it in the first place, don't they? In chess, I don't know, maybe.
Not necessarily.
Ooh, 7
Not
concurrent
necessarily.
viewers.
6. It's down to 6.
Oh well, they must have actually somebody listened and thought, oh sod this, what's this crap?
Somebody heard the word chess and then just
Yeah,
walked
that's
away.
what I mean. You were
It's
talking about
far
chess, you
from-
put them off, chased them away.
No, I'm just giving examples of where the
Has
associations
there
just
been
broke
any
off.
sport where, when this kind of thing happens, it prospered? Because I can't think of one. Anything. It's always been an absolute disaster for it, and it only sorts itself out when one of them dies, doesn't it?
Yeah, somebody has to just come back with their tail stuck behind their leg.
Yeah,
That is the thing.
that's the worrying thing for me. Because if how long
Yeah, and
is
then what do you do? What do you do in that instance?
well they've got they're not being funny. It's got a lot of backing behind it. This a lot of money. It's got that what's his name that owns Miami Dolphins, which is why it's so much involved the American owners. Probably why Arsenal are so into it as well. Like you know what I mean? American owners. I wonder if that's what the problem is with
Stephen
the
and Ross.
Qataris. Thinking about why,
Stephen Ross is the
yeah,
owner
Stephen
of
Ross,
Miami
that's it.
Dolphins. Yeah,
But I wonder if that's what the problem PSG have with it. They're not exactly,
probably.
they're not exactly on the best of terms with the Americans. So it might not be that they disagree with it. It might just be simply that they haven't worked out terms with the Americans.
Yeah, they might just disagree with the people, not the concept.
Yeah, which is worrying because if they while they're staying out, it's a good, it's a it's a step in the right direction. We need the Germans and the French, and basically we need as many teams as possible to stay out of it to stand any chance of getting it stopped.
But if we are being honest, what do PSG have to gain by staying in the French league? They're the ones. They're the ones that are losing the most money right now with
Yeah,
all the sponsorship and
and
broadcasting
they were
and
even
everything.
discussing at one point because it was so there was so little competition. They were even discussing at one point ways that they could put their own money into other teams. Spread more money about for other teams to try and raise the level of the French league. So this and for
Yeah,
them would actually seem to be a surely it seems like a positive. So yeah, there's got to be some reason why they're not involved.
yeah, that is what I was thinking all day. Like, come on, but they should be the ones that are actually pushing for it, right? If we're talking about what the teams have to gain,
Yeah, I mean
but
it's not like they're well
United and
liked.
Liverpool are still, yeah, they're not well liked. They're the ones that have for just a lack of better plastic owners who are just in it for the money
Oh, I don't know.
to
The
spend.
Qataris,
Not
no,
no
I
to
don't think
spend.
that's
No, no, no.
fair.
I
They're
say
not.
to spend the money, not to make the money, but to spend the money. And FFP and UEFA and everything, they're just a hindrance to that.
No, it's more about sports washing for them, which is everything they do. That's what the World Cup and all that is about, and all these sporting events they're taking there. It's just to show, and not sports washing. That's where they try and cover up. They're not bothered about this. It's not about covering up the human rights abuse by playing sports at all. That's wrong. I don't know why people keep saying that, and I didn't mean that. I mean, it's not about sports washing. It's about showing off the money they've got, but they can do that just by winning the French league. And if they wanted, and they could just buy another team if they really wanted to. You know what I mean? So they don't need to. If they wanted to spend more money, they could just go and buy another team.
Yeah, fair enough. That
Uh,
point will they?
it's more about them getting PSG to be the best they possibly can be. It's a competition for them. They're in it to compete and show that they're the best. And that
Yeah, well, at
Qatar's
least them Dortmund by not leaving would at least ensure some high-end players will still be playing in the domestic leagues
wow.
and in the tournaments and everything.
Oh, so you say, but there's always the chance that they'll change. I can't see how they can though, because their own 51%, isn't it, is owned by the fans, and we've already seen the reaction of the fans around the world. I've not heard anything that, apart from there's been one person on the site that I've on the one any of the sites I've seen that's thought it's a good idea. One person on the Liverpool site, and I wouldn't be surprised if that knobhead wasn't a paid it wasn't a paid poster because I've never seen the name before, and the things he's posting just suggest he's never seen a football match in his life and has no idea about his history or anything. Everything he's
Yeah,
post, it's
that's
just
another problem.
he doesn't post like a football fan. He posts like a fan of FSG. You know what I mean? So, and we know
Could be.
FSG do have a habit of looking on forums like this all the time. Not this on the Liverpool site, I mean. So they do have paid people to go around and keep an eye on them. So it really wouldn't surprise me because I can't believe there's any Liverpool fan anywhere in the world that would possibly agree with what's happening.
Nice one from Steven.
So do I need to? Do we need to keep a tally? Maybe we could tally it up on the side, like on the thing where it's that little
No,
circle.
I can guarantee one thing. We're gonna ask why someone is listening more than the number of people that actually listen.
We've only got 5. Is that him? Is he just? Is that because he's signed off? Miserable get, just leaving us on our own. I mean, leaving us with Bazza. That's the worst thing. Could have taken him with. I mean, hi Bazza. Good to have you.
Oh, he's got quiet now. Even I think even he is tuned off.
Who Baz? Yeah, he's probably well. He said he was getting the kids from school, so he's probably ignoring them now, busy typing a reply. Kids are there. Can we go home now, Dad? And he's just a sec, kids, just a sec.
I'm listening into two very intelligent people giving their opinions. Come on, guys.
No,
We
he's
can
definitely
wait.
no. He's listening to us, Deeps. He's listening to us. So that's not. No, that's not. That's definitely not what's happening. So we're going to talk about Ole. Ole. No, sorry. Jose just picked them up. We'll put them back down again, Bazza. There's no need to carry them, mate. They can walk on their own 2 feet. Yeah, should we talk about Jose for a bit while we? Because we haven't mentioned him, have we? And
Yeah,
do you think this? Because there's a lot of talk claiming that he's walked out because of this, which is why I'm shitting myself about Klopp, to be honest. Because I can't see him standing for it either.
the only chance I see him walking off because of ESL is because Spurs don't have the necessary funds to just sack him willy nilly, right? Because it's quite well established that he's gonna be a very expensive guy to get rid of for them.
Yeah,
So
but
if they,
he doesn't need the money. Let's be honest. He doesn't need the money.
yeah,
And
that is what I'm
if they've
saying.
had an argument,
He could have just walked.
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm
he could
saying.
have just walked.
I have a feeling that
That is the thing.
that's what's happened rather than he's been sacked. I mean, we all knew he was probably gone at the end of the season anyway, but you wouldn't sack him just days before a cup final, would you?
Yeah, they could have just waited another week and see how the result went. If you lose, then you can just say, "Oh, come on, you didn't succeed. You
Yeah,
didn't succeed in anything this season." So
well, it's a much easier job of sacking him if he's lost the cup final. The fans have
yeah,
already turned on him, so but like you do that and then there's just no point. The players are already turning. But the problem is, can you see Jose walking out because of this? Because that's the thing. Baz is saying it as well. He doubts it, and that's what bothers me. It's not really what you think
no,
of with
I
Jose,
don't.
is it?
Yeah, I don't believe that is the reason. But I'm just saying that might have been a possibility because for all his mourning, complaining, and everything,
Mm.
he is a football fan, though.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
cannot
So, and
we cannot just say, "Oh, he's Jose, he's mourning and everything."
and
She's
there is another thing I've just thought of.
part of the job. He's a very passionate guy when
Yeah,
it comes to football.
but he's always said as well that he wants to manage Portugal. It's always been his, he said before he retires he wants to manage Portugal, hasn't he? He's said that many times. If he goes, if
Yeah,
things
he
go
probably
into this
doesn't want to
split
burn his bridge.
and he goes with
Oh,
Spurs,
yeah.
he'd be banned from that, wouldn't he? So he couldn't manage Portugal.
Yeah,
So actually, I actually think that could well have had something to do with
there
it.
could be a fire. Yeah, there could be some fire in it. right?
Yeah. It really does make it would make sense because he has always said that's his ambition is to manage at Spurs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
not
I wouldn't
Spurs.
be surprised. I
Man,
wouldn't be surprised if he left for Portugal this coming summer, anyways, even without
exactly.
all this sad and everything, because Fernando Santos is getting on a bit, and they have a very good team as well, Portugal.
Exactly. This is a good
It
time
would
to
have
be
been
managing
perfect.
Portugal. That's for sure.
Who knows? There is a possibility there.
I mean, do you think he's still got it at internet? Do you think he's still good enough to manage an international side?
Well, if Gareth Southgate is, come on, Mourinho is much better.
That's not really saying much, though, mate. That's like saying Peter Crouch is a better podcaster than us two. It's not really
No,
it's not a high
the thing
bar to
with
get over, is
Mourinho,
it? We do podcasts as well, but Peter Crouch just does it 100 times better.
yeah,
You know,
but the
we're
thing is,
we're
Mourinho
amateur,
can give better
amateur hour,
performance.
like Gareth Southgate. In fact, actually, I'd say we're probably more professional than Gareth Southgate. To be fair, better dressed as well. Though you do need to tone down your waistcoats a bit.
But the thing is, maybe Jose can handle
He might be better off there because he hasn't got as long with the
the
players to
teams for
piss them
10,
off.
15. We've seen, yeah, that is what I am saying. Like 15 days, 20 days, and then maybe a tournament every 2 years. That's much less time for him to fall out with people.
Yeah, and when you're at the tournament, nobody's caring about falling out of it. They're too obsessed with winning the tournament, and it matters to them. A World Cup or a European Championship, unless you're Roy Keane. Seriously though,
He can
unless you're
shove.
someone like Roy Keane, who's so selfish and up his own arse that he thinks he's more important than the team, he could have registered it. You register your discontent with what's going on, fair enough, but you don't walk out on your team, do you? That's just low. Or do
Yeah,
you?
but Kino is someone who can just start an argument in an empty room.
He just doesn't care about the team, mate. And Ferguson worked wonders because he kept him a part of it. You know what I mean? He kept his head as part of a team for many years. Kept him from blowing up. And I think that was probably the best thing he ever did in management, personally.
Probably, but he has done a lot.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying
Winning
that
medals,
is
winning
for
number
me the
20.
greatest achievement, and that's what enabled him to win so many. Is that he managed to knit together a team, even using people like, even though he had people like Roy Keane and Eric Cantona was another one who didn't play well with others, so to speak.
Yeah, he could just figure out how to work with different types of people, how to
Yeah,
get a performance, how to get a team working together.
yeah. I mean that is something special though. What he did with Keane and Cantona and that. I mean, that really takes some doing. We've seen, he can't even talk. He can't even do anything on the TV as a pundit without falling out with people or starting an argument, can he? So
Well, he's gonna start an argument when every 5 minutes he's gonna talk about someone punching someone or something. That is the first thing he goes to. Punching,
exactly. Have you ever
punching
seen
people. That,
you ever seen
uh,
seen that story Jason McAteer tells about when they were at the World Cup in the USA, the first
I
game?
don't listen to anything about Kino.
Yeah, but no, it's just a story. They're lining up for for the kick before the kickoff,
Oh
and
yes,
like,
yes, yes. I know,
oh
I know,
yeah,
I know. I know that one.
I won't tell it then. Everyone
Oh, tell
else.
me,
No,
maybe someone,
what the three
maybe
viewers
someone
might
else
have not
has.
heard it. Yeah, okay. So they're lining up for the before the kickoff, Ireland like, and suddenly he looks down the line and he sees the players, one of the players leaning over to the player next to him, whispering something in his ear, and then it's being passed on to the next one, and he thinks, "Oh God, must be some kind of tactical, like last minute tactical instructions." So he gets ready, and he's listening, and he's waiting, and then it gets to him. Guy next to him whispers, "Oh, the tits on that bird in the front row. Pass it on." And he's just like, well, "That wasn't what I was expecting." He turns, and next to him it's Roy Keane. He just turned back to him because it was John Aldridge who said it to him. He said, "But it's Roy Keane." And he's like, "No, pass it on." And he's like, "But it's Roy Keane." He's just pass. So he turned to him and said, "Keep it tight, Roy. Keep it tight. Play it, like that." Because he didn't dare tell him. I'd just love to have known what Roy Keane would have done though if he'd have actually said what he was supposed to.
He would probably have started an argument of some sort.
I don't know. I don't know if he would. I mean, let's be honest. He may be a pain in the ass and a bit of a dick, but he's still male.
No,
He's
but
still.
he's a pain in the arse. Come on.
Yeah, but still, that's the kind of thing that does. That does. It does change the way you think. Well, I was trying to figure out what I could hear, and I've just realised it's you're watching it in the background. I keep hearing it repeating back. It's confusing me.
No. I don't have the voice on.
Well, how can I hear it?
I think there's a little bit of a lag.
But I haven't got the sound on, so can't be. I don't know. I can't understand how it's coming back. I'm getting the backwash. Echo. That's
feedback. Feedback.
Yeah, it's echo more than I suppose. I don't know. Whatever it is. So anyway, shall we go back to the ESL then? what about the Champions League? We haven't even spoken about that. Then the proposals. He's from Cork. No sense of humour. You need a sense of humour to be from Cork, Bazza. Let's be honest. What's that show? Oh, where Baz is in it. Baz is in a show. He's from Cork. He's in the show from Cork. He's one of the two divvies in it. You probably haven't seen it though, have you, Deeps?
Probably haven't.
It's really good, really funny. It's Bazza and his mate. It's all about. So, what do you think of these proposals? Do you think they're any better? DSL.
It's just something different with someone different running it, but with the same ideology.
Yeah, this Champions League and the Super League just seems an absolute joke. Both of them.
Yeah, both are just gonna. One is gonna be run by UEFA, and another is gonna be run by the so-called elite clubs. That's the only difference. Otherwise, it's a similar idea, isn't it? Certain teams will never miss out because they were great 20 years ago.
Because they're rich. Like that. I mean,
yeah, basically.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? So if I was
whether
rich,
the
I'd
name
be
is UEFA Champions League or European Super League, the idea is gonna be similar. Same team's gonna play each other every year, every match week.
Yeah, it's not right, is it?
It isn't, but one of the two is gonna happen anyways, isn't it?
Yeah, it's surely got to be another option. There has to be. I mean, there can't be just these are extremes.
But why is there a need? Why is there a need for another option? Because I don't see the current Champions League format failing too many things.
Well, I do. It's crap. It's boring. There's too many.
No, but the new idea is even more about just having the same teams again and again.
Yeah.
So how is it going to be anything better?
Well, that's what I mean. It needs to go back to just being Champions League or European Cup for champions only, and the rest go into the others. and be a
Yeah, you
knockout
can. Yeah,
competition again. It was much better.
yeah. Champions for Champions League and maybe Europa League for teams that finish second, third, fourth
Yeah, and the
at
cup
different
winners.
countries and
I see. I
everything.
don't find the problem with the cup winners' cup is for the ones that win the cups.
Yeah, three. Yeah, they want to do three tournaments, three European tournaments. Maybe they can do something like that.
The only reason it
The
was a
champions.
problem was because. Can you ask the other guy to turn his? I'll turn it down for you, mate. Don't worry, I can turn the sound down on here. Use the volume down. That's Deeps. That's Ed 77. 77. It is 77, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've turned it down a little bit. See if that's okay. Is that okay,
Is it
Barry?
any better?
Barry Lyndon, the other guy, to turn his mic down.
The other Barry. It's just Barry, but the other Barry.
Yeah, it's quite. It's going to be confusing. One of you is going to have to change your name. Bazza can change his name because that's not his real name anyway. He's not really Barry. I've seen him on that show. What's it called? Ah, I'm gonna have to Google it because I can't remember what it's called. I know he knows because he knows exactly what show because I normally call him it. Oh man.
So okay, three tournaments.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
what was wrong with Young Offenders? That's it.
Oh, okay.
If you've watched it, you should watch it. I mean, if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It's actually really funny, and Baz is brilliant in it. Can't remember whether he's Jock or Connor. He's the little one anyway. Yeah, Connor. Yeah. See, Baz knows.
Kind of extreme.
Oh, you have to watch it, Deeps. Honestly, just to see what Baz is like away from the sights. He knows exactly what I meant. He's not even denying it because he knows it's true. I reckon that's
Okay,
why
two
his,
seasons.
he's put his surname was Connolly on here. I reckon it's not his actual surname. His surname is he put Connor, and then he thought, oh, I better change it because someone might recognise me from the show.
McSweeney.
That was the best he could come up with was Connolly. Well, he is from Cork, so see, hands up, he's admitting it.
Alex Murphy.
You really have to watch it, Deeps. Honestly, you'd like it. It's quite
Yeah,
funny.
maybe I will give it a go.
See if you can find it straight. Maybe not now, obviously. I don't mean at this exact
Oh,
moment.
come on, Trish.
It's
Come on,
probably more exciting than listening to us talk. Like, but that, you're not. But you're needed because otherwise it's just me bloody talking, and they don't want that. Well, maybe someone might. I don't know who though. I can't think of anybody in the world that possibly
Not
want to
your
just
mother,
listen.
that's for sure.
Not
Your
even,
mom,
yeah, not
that's
even
for
my
sure.
mother would want to listen to that.
Well, we have more folks listening in. That is
Oh,
a plus.
13. Wow.
14.
God,
It's 14.
yeah, that's just changed on mine. Thing is, we got less likes though, so obviously there's a lot more people going. God, what's this shit? We're supposed to be talking about the ESL anyway, so should go back to it, I suppose, rather than talking about Baz's home life as Connor. Because
Connor McSweeney.
yeah, you'll have to honestly to watch it. You'll thank me for it.
Oh, come on, don't think so highly of yourself.
Oh, when you're this good, you have to, don't you?
Oh, shut up.
I mean, you only have to look how good I look on this.
Even your mom wouldn't thank you for such things. Come on.
No. Well, I was born, the midwife slapped me mother. Go on, do all the gags. I know you're waiting to. You've been saving
No,
them up.
I never do those gags. You just do it yourself because you know you've heard it so many times.
Yeah, I get
Because it's
bored of
the
them.
truth.
I know them all.
It is the truth, anyways.
That's true, it is, but you know. It's nice of you to say it, though. We've talked about Jose. We've talked about the ESL. Has anybody got any questions while we think on before we go back again and start again? So I mean, what the?
Well, I have a question. I have a question. Maybe something we can just speculate on. Who's gonna replace Jose now? That is the thing, right?
Well, they want Nagelsmann. He's first choice.
But I don't see him coming there right now.
No, no me. So it'll be who would they go after that? That's the question, isn't it?
Like if they go after
Maybe they.
Nagelsmann, then they will need someone to come in as an interim coach. Who would that guy be then?
Ooh, they could go for Phil Neville. He's on
Or
his.
he's
He's
left.
already on a shooting peg. He lost last night.
Yes.
He can't have long left.
And Inter Miami have one or two very huge names in the team, right? It's not like there's just a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Phil Neville's crap, isn't he? Let's be perfectly honest here. He's
No,
like
but
he's not as bad a
but the
coach as
thing
his
is,
brother, but he's not.
yeah, that is what I was gonna say. He's not even the worst level.
Yeah. That's the worrying thing, isn't it? Oh God. Oh, I mean, what was it they called him? Oh, question for you guys. Oh, we got a questions. Oh, Bray Wonders aren't joining. Oh no, that's it. They'll have to cancel it now. Bray Wonders has said they're not going to join. Oh, without them it can't work. Oh, that's ruined it. Thank God for that. They've saved football. Right, sorry. So I got a question for you guys. Do you think the ESL clubs expected the reaction to be so overwhelmingly negative, and how much of this is motivated by COVID? Well, we'll start off with the reaction. No, they certainly didn't expect it to be so overwhelmingly negative. I think they thought people would be like, yeah, whatever. Who cares?
I
Don't
think
you?
what they expected was to be something along the lines of the reaction they had last year with the project Big Picture or whatever they named it. People would be negative, but they wouldn't be completely
Yeah,
against it.
yeah. It'd be
Equivocally, yeah.
just a kind of yeah. We're not keen, but that was it, wasn't it? Really, it was a bit like yeah. Nobody really cared, did they?
People didn't agree with it, but nobody actually disagreed strongly with the idea.
Yeah. Yeah, but it wasn't like a big, massive reaction like they've got now, where people are taking down banners and flags at the grounds and stuff. You know, the fans are all protesting and all that. But then
Yeah, people are like, our club has died, and okay,
when the
everything.
big picture thing was put out, was that during a lockdown? I
Yeah,
can't remember. So
it
might the
was, it was
reaction have been totally different
probably.
if there'd have been no lockdown, because people could have gone and protested. Oh,
Maybe, maybe not.
Dundalk have also said they're not joining then, eh? Wow, can't happen now, can it?
Really?
Yeah, without the Irish clubs,
How are they gonna cope?
how can they do a European Super League without the might of the Irish clubs?
Or if any Irish club wants to take part, they can just come in and say they're English now.
Wow, for years the English have been saying they're Irish to get in the Irish team, so why not? Was it
Yeah, they
Cascarino
can
that
do
didn't
that.
even that turned out he didn't even have an Irish grandmother, and he only found out after he'd retired?
Yeah, because they needed him, so why would anybody want to check
Well, yeah,
properly?
exactly. He's
Why
crap.
would
Let's be
anybody want to check
honest.
the out?
Yeah, you can have him. Basically, I think was the reaction. When the English like, no, no, please take him. No, please, no, go on. We don't mind.
And the second part of the question,
Oh
how
yeah.
much of this is motivated by COVID? Not much.
No,
I wouldn't say much.
I do you not think that that's what's pushed it this quickly because of the loss of earnings? So they're trying to push it
The
too
idea,
quickly, and
but
it's
the
all
thing is,
because it's all
yeah,
turning over already to streaming and live TV watching rather than people going to the ground. I think they were probably thinking, that those kind of viewers would be happy with this because, what's it matter? They're just getting to watch the big clubs rather than little clubs playing against big clubs at times. You know what I mean? They're just getting to watch all big clubs playing, so they might love it because it's more like a FIFA type thing, isn't it?
yeah, but I think it's more. This process has been uh, quickened by the
Yeah,
impacts of
expedited.
COVID. But I don't think it's. Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think if there was no COVID, it wouldn't have happened. That is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
It was
eventually.
something that was simmering in the background for a long time. So it's just now it's out there for everybody to see. But
Whoa,
it would probably have come out in a year or so time, even if there was no COVID.
that's an interesting quote. Benj, is that Benj? Yeah, Benj, Benj. Yeah. Ben, we'll just say Ben. Anyway, he said our primary job is to maximise our revenues and profits. The wider good of the game is of secondary concern. He's saying Sly are reporting this as a leaked quote from a top six only, and that would sum up the way they act, the way they've acted. I mean, so makes sense.
Yeah,
Worrying.
that is quite evident, right? What the alleged quote is. It's quite evident to see. It is
But
about revenue and making money for most of the
but they don't
owners.
seem to understand that the wider good of the game also maximises their revenue and profits for the long term. Because this might do well for a couple of years, but people will lose interest. I mean, it's just not
Yeah,
very.
but we have to ask the question: are the Liverpool owners is the FSG going to be here 10 years down the road? Probably
Well, no,
not.
they're already
They just
they're
want to
already looking to
maximize.
to move on, aren't they? They're bringing in investment and to move on. So
Yeah, they entered this deal, the whole Liverpool deal, with an idea of escaping out
not
after
all of
a
them,
certain.
not all of them, to be honest. Not all of FSG did. Some of them were actually, there was a couple of them were actually Liverpool fans who wanted to get in to buy Liverpool rather than, and they just brought their mates along, their club together. This is the problem is, and this is why it's quite odd. The problem is that John Henry's become the principal man and running it all, and he's all about the profit. You know what I mean? He's all about making money, rather than people like I can't remember who it was, but there was the ones that actually brought them in were about uh, wanting to win things with Liverpool. Uh, Gotta wonder how much different things would have been if Dick had bought us.
Maybe not much different.
Oh, I don't know, because you've seen what Abu Dhabi done for Man City, and it was the same family, obviously, and they wouldn't have bought Man City for starters because they wouldn't compete with each other, which is why Dubai have not come back in for Liverpool. It would have been owned by the Dubai royal family rather than the Abu Dhabi royal family, obviously, so slightly less money, but like you're talking about in terms of being able to buy half the world or three quarters. It's not like a big difference, you know what I mean? So it'd be totally different. Yeah, you're right there, Rob. Oh yeah, that's Rob. That's our resident author there, Rob Power. How's the books going, mate?
Oh yeah,
I don't know if you've read. Have you read any of his books, Deeps? Really good. Teenager when he first mentioned it.
yeah, I was.
You're only a teenager now. What are you talking about?
Shh, shh. No, no, no. Hush, hush, hush. Nobody can go that way.
How old
Come on.
actually are you, Deeps? We take the piss out of you all the time for being just a child, but I don't actually know
23,
how old you are.
23.
All right. So you're not far off a teenager, really. When you compare it to the age of the rest of us, you're about the same age as Dev's then, aren't you? The Edo 4.
Probably.
He's about the
Probably,
same
probably.
age. Not long finished uni as well. Quite odd. It's a bit of a bit of a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a coincidence that both the Manchester United ones are young.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say because both are like me and Ed Treble Six are all, a similar age as well. Like he's obviously older than me, but not by much. So
He can't be younger, right?
no,
You
he's
can't have
definitely
him
not.
be younger than you.
The only person he's younger than is Billy, and everyone's younger than Billy.
Even your mom.
Yeah, even Billy's dad's younger than Billy. Why is he? Why has he said?
That's his name.
No, hey,
It's
we.
his name.
Hey. So, it's
Yeah,
Saloui. That's it. That was what we were calling him because he kept mixing him up.
yeah, he has two personalities, let's say.
Yeah, he got. Did you see that one then? That thread where he got himself mixed up.
Yeah, I know.
How do you? That takes some doing. That's when you know you've probably been You've probably been spending a bit too long on the internet when you get yourself mixed up with somebody else who you claim isn't you.
Yeah, that is the thing. If he's so deep into everything that he can get into a conversation and argument with himself.
That's very worrying, isn't it? You probably need
Very much, very
maybe you
much.
need a day off when you're doing that. So, we never did figure out right who's going to take who's in the running for Spurs then. Obviously, the media are linking Gerrard and Nuno. I'm saying Nagelsmann. Obviously, we know that's who they want, but I can't see him taking it. Can
But
you?
do you think he's gonna take it? No, I don't. I don't think he's gonna take it because it's. I don't even think it's a sideways move right now
No,
from RBL to
no, it's a
Spurs.
step down.
Yeah, exactly.
I think again I'm going to say the same as I said about Everton, who'd be a great choice. I think Graham Potter would be a great choice.
Yeah, if they want to build a team, not just for next season, but for 3 years down the road, let's say, that Potter wouldn't be a bad shout. Maybe they can look into the German teams. The Italian league has some new managers, up and coming managers.
Yeah, there's quite a few. There's a lot of options out there. Obviously, there's your baby Adi Hutter.
He's not gonna go to Spurs. Come on, he's just moving to Gladbach.
You'd be gutted if he did, wouldn't you?
No, not really.
Oh, you would, because then he wouldn't be in a big club. Have we got any Spurs
No, but
fans on here? Because if I'm insulting them for nothing, it's a bit pointless, isn't it? Oh, I'm only doing it to wind them up. There's no point if there's none on here. Put your hands up if you support Spurs.
they're just ashamed to own up, even if there is
Yeah,
anyone.
that's true. I would be at the moment. Do you remember Raver on the sites? He was always good. So UEFA President
Yeah,
Alexander Keferin. Is it Keferin or Seferin?
Shefferin, I think.
Show off. Seferin condemns disgraceful proposals and confirms players to be banned from World Cups and Euros. I see. This is the thing. If they do that, the players surely are going to be wanting to be pulling out of it, saying, "I'm not going to that if I'm not going to be able to play for my country in the World Cup." Rafa will get
Yeah,
this
but
wrong. Barry's pointed down. See, Barry Lyndon. Sorry, not Bazza, not Connor. Barry. Just to, it's going to get confusing, the two Barrys. It's a bit like the freaking Chuckle Brothers. Even though they were
so
both called
back
Barry.
to Spurs. Back to Spurs. We're ruling out Nagelsmann.
I can't see it.
What
Can
are
you?
you just out? I don't. No, there's no chance for Nagelsmann. Come on, big. the most important thing to consider when we talk about Julian is the Bayern job is going to be up in the summer as well.
Yeah,
If he's going
exactly.
to
If
move,
he's and if he
yeah,
feels ready for it, he'll want that.
yeah. If he wants to move, then there is a better job for him, for in his
Exactly.
own eyes, the right level. So there is
Well, I
that's
don't.
gone.
Would anybody call Spears a better job than
RBL, no,
and then no, and then Bayern? I was saying, you're saying in his
oh
eyes a better job. I think it's just a better
God,
job. There isn't, is there? That isn't a
yeah,
better.
okay,
Bayern's light years ahead of Spears. Spears, I mean,
yeah. It's in everybody's eyes. Yeah, okay.
I don't
I
think,
give
I don't
I
think there's
give you that.
anybody who'd argue that.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Potter, I don't think they would actually go for Potter. If they
No,
look
he's
for
not a big enough
someone
name.
in the league, maybe Hasenhuttl, but he has fallen off a cliff. Or let's be more apt and say Southampton have fallen off a cliff. Mm,
Yeah, so they're not going to go for him, are they? What's his name? Oh, Hasenhüttl. You've just said it. I've just realised.
yeah,
Yeah, they're not going to
Hasenhuttl.
go for him. He's just. I mean, the Southampton fans have lost patience with him. So, Billy Hogan email. Dear colleagues, you will be aware of the announcement published late last night regarding Europe's leading football clubs coming together to establish a new midweek competition, European Super League, governed by its founding clubs. It's an important member of our team. Let's share with you some of the context. Quite some town clubs, including our own, have held numerous long-standing concerns about not only the future of European football, but also the way football is run by UEFA. The global pandemic has also accelerated the instability in the existing European football economic model. We have therefore joined AC Milan, Arsenal, Atletico Madrid, Chelsea, Barcelona, Inter Milan, Juventus, Manchester City, Manchester United, Real Madrid and Tottenham Hotspurs as founding clubs of the Super League. It is anticipated that a further 3 clubs will join ahead of the inaugural season, which is intended to commence as soon as practicable. The Super League will be the future of European football, and if we want to continue our journey of being a sustainable club with ambition to grow and continue winning trophies, then we should absolutely be part of that process and have a seat at the table rather than outside that group. I'm not sure I agree with any of this. The new annual tournament will provide significantly greater economic growth. Yeah, well, I'm sure it will. And support for European football via a long-term commitment to uncapped solidarity payments, which will grow in line with league revenues. I don't believe that. These solidarity payments are expected to be roughly 3 times what is currently achieved from UEFA competitions. Yeah, until the UEFA stuff dies, and then they'll stop paying it, won't they? One of the core commitments of the European Super League is to vastly increase financial support for the football pyramid. I just don't believe that. I'm sorry. After the start of the men's competition, a corresponding women's league will also be launched, helping to advance and develop the women's game. We know this announcement has provoked strong feelings within the game and elsewhere, but we believe this decision is in the best long-term interests of Liverpool football clubs. I certainly don't believe they think that. Importantly, this is the beginning of the journey, and we can now start an engagement process with you supporters and key stakeholders to help shape this process in the right way. There is still much more information to come in due course. I'll keep you updated as we progress on this journey and discuss further on our town hall tomorrow. Thank you for your continued support. Yeah, I'm not convinced on that at all. What about you, Deeps?
yeah. I we don't want to miss out on the money is the thing.
Yeah, that's what
At
I'm
the end,
getting
right?
from it. Not it's the long term benefit. It's the long term economic benefit. Talking about how much money they're going to send over. Well, what's the point if nobody's actually moving up and down the leagues or anything? So it's a closed shop. It's. Osweier thinks Rafa will get the Spears job. By the way, nah, I can't see that. I can't see Rafa taking the job. Him working with bloody. Oh, could you imagine him and Levy? Oh, it wouldn't last
Well,
5 minutes.
he worked with Ashley, so
Yeah, and look how it worked out. The fans are still on his side now. You know what I mean? But like, Ashley still got rid of him.
yeah, maybe they can go if they want someone young. Maybe they can go for Julian Stefan. the ex-Rennes manager.
Is that who you're throwing in as your dark horse then, is it?
I don't think they will go for him, but they should go for someone like that who is capable of bringing youth through and everything. Because they don't have much money, do they? Because of the
The
like
stadium.
everybody is strung by everybody is suffering from COVID, but they also have a stadium to pay for. So
Yeah, it's the stadium's the big issue, isn't it?
obviously,
I mean, that's a huge thing that they've got to pay for, and it's with the COVID, it's really tough. Whoa. Financial Times reporting that the ESL clubs are already in early talks with Disney, Amazon, etc. It's a game of chicken now, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty much right. Proper Barry, rather than Brian Walsh. Oh, that's Mumblebum, innit? I knew I recognised the name. So, who's Barry Lyndon then? So what's your name on the site, Barry? Because we know I know who fake Barry is, kind of pretending to be Barry. I know who Rob Power is. Dreadman's just some stalker we can't get rid of. Who's Benj as well? I don't know who Benj is either. It's hard to. I'm not registered just to. Oh right, okay, no worries. Just wondered. So it's the real Barry.
yeah. If you ever register, you have to register
Yeah.
as the real Paris. So you have a ready-made username now.
Yeah, that's it. Ready made. So yeah, it's perfect name for him. The real Barry, and we've got and Barry Bazzer in Louth
The
needs to change his name
imposter,
to
yeah.
Connor. First player from a speaker against said something like "money can't buy dreams." I didn't think any. We were discussing that earlier. We're saying I can't expect that. We didn't expect any of the players to sit out and say anything.
Oh,
Names face on this flag.
Bruno is
Ah,
someone
right.
who
Okay,
doesn't
cheers,
mince
mate.
his words.
Yeah, even so though.
He's
I
a,
mean, he's
he,
still.
he would say anything. He's just like that.
But like,
I
still
don't know
speaking
whether
out
he's
against his
against it,
employers.
but yeah.
You don't
Oh,
tend
come
to
on.
do that publicly. Not when you.
But he's more important to the team than
Do you
you
think
could
they care
imagine.
about the
Come
team?
on.
Do you think they care about the team? The Glazers.
Well, they have to. They care about the team because if they don't make money from Manchester United, then how are they gonna pay Tom Brady?
Yeah, but they don't need. What I'm saying is, they don't need the team to perform. They could get rid of him and save on his wages, and it'd still make more money. You know what I mean? They don't need the players to do that, as such.
Or if anybody is like, oh, this such an uproar against this ESL thing, just wait if Bruno is forced out of the club for
Oh,
speaking
yeah.
against it.
Well, if it's true that Jose, if it really is true, obviously we're a bit skeptical whether it's true or not on the old Jose thing walking out because of
No,
it,
the thing is,
and then Klopp
we
does
don't
it,
think
and
it is, right?
then you've got Bruno Fernandes walks out as well. I think it's going to be absolute. It's just going to be bedlam. The fans will totally turn. I mean, if they think it's bad now, cool.
Yeah, especially if the likes of Klopp, Bruno, they're not just big names involved. They're also the guys who are beloved by the fan bases. Like some people are even happier because Jose left Spurs. Even
Yeah,
if let's say
exactly.
we give him the benefit of the doubt and say he walked out because of the ASL OTL.
Oh,
Even if
Cancelo's
that is the
spoken out.
thing, some people aren't gonna. Okay. Oh,
I was saying the only thing I said to
maybe
you,
just
didn't
the
I? All the players
Portuguese.
and none of the players are happy about it. None of the players want this. There's not one player that like we were saying that I know of that is keen on this idea. They're all very against it. It's not good for players though because they want to play for their team.
Yeah, they also want to play for their local teams, some players, and it's just gonna rule out the possibility.
Well, I'm not going to be able to play.
Yeah, like let's say United, United get the wish and go into the this ESL. Then Bruno is also going to be banned from all the domestic leagues and everything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If the threats are manufactured, then it means that he doesn't have the chance of going back to Sporting Lisbon, for example.
Yeah.
He
So,
might want to
whoa,
do it
whoa, whoa!
because he's a
Can
fan
we
of the club.
just? Can I just stop you there? Can I just get this? Because it's one of my pet hates. Is whenever I hear someone call it referring them as Sporting Lisbon, there's no Lisbon in the title of that club at all. Lisbon's not mentioned at
I
all.
know. Did I
Sporting
say
Club de
Sporting Lisbon?
Portugal.
Yeah, it's Sporting CP. My bad.
So it's one of my pet hates that I keep seeing them referred to as Sporting Lisbon, and there's no such team as Sporting Lisbon. They don't exist. It drives me up the wall. Don't know why. I'm just a bit pedantic like that, as you know. So I apologise for all listening that are probably thinking you're miserable. Get it is just I am really pedantic, and things like that really do get on my wick. It's like when people misspell there, or there, get the wrong one. It makes me grit my teeth when I have to edit it to not change it.
And now I've forgotten what I was saying.
Oh, sorry. You were saying if we wanted to go back to sporting.
Yeah, then he won't have the opportunity if he's not allowed to play and participate in the leagues.
Yeah,
And some players are motivated by money, but some are competitive guys. Some are more emotionally attached to the teams as well.
yeah, most players are wanting to win things. That's what they're really motivated by, rather than which team they play for as such. Money comes with the winning things. You know what I mean? So they see that as kind of
Yeah,
like the two
exactly.
go
Like
hand
you
in
said
hand,
yesterday.
which is why Kane will probably move from Spurs this summer, almost certainly, like because he wants to win things.
It depends upon who they bring in as well.
But who they? You see, this is the thing. Who is gonna go there that would appease Kane and make him think they've got a chance of winning something?
Allegri maybe if they can convince him.
Ooh, Allegri's a good shout. He's not got a
And the thing
job.
is,
He's
yeah,
been out of work
nobody,
for a
yeah,
while. No interest in him anymore.
like no better option. Seemingly, there are no better option for him right now.
Well, nobody seems to.
Maybe
Everyone
Juventus,
thinks
but
he's a bit of a
nobody.
problem. So,
Yeah,
so yeah, that's a good shout.
exactly.
That.
Like Etu said, like Etu said some time ago, is it can be very hard to deal with. Maybe,
So,
maybe Allegri.
I've just seen what Barry put. The real Barry put. They're so, they're so annoying. They are. They are. Can I edit that? Can I edit the live chat?
No, you can't.
Change there to they are. If they speak out, it will go a long way in halting this. I think the players have got the players could stop it completely. That's the thing. If they actually stand up and say challenge it, it'll end because they can't do it without the players. It's not funny, but
Yeah,
real,
exactly.
Barry.
Nathan Lloyd has a question. Do you
Yeah, it's a
honestly
good one
think
as
the
well.
Super League is way worse than this new UEFA format? Surely the Premier League need to set up a
That's
TV
two
and streaming
questions.
service and get rid of Sky and BT.
I know
Yeah,
you
but
can't count, but
we
it's two.
discussed.
How the hell do we get by
Yeah, we
put that?
discussed as well.
Well, we'll start with the Super League. Is it worse than the new UEFA format? Not really, but I don't want
Yeah, we
either.
discussed. Yeah, we discussed the thing. It's basically different people running same concept.
Yeah, it's a bad idea. But the difference is the only reason I would prefer UEFA running it than the clubs running it themselves is because any competition that gets run by the participants, always ends up an utter mess because all it comes down to is wanting to preserve their self-interest rather than doing what's best for the competition. At least with the UEFA running it, You can just change if you need to get the right people in charge of UEFA. That's the change we need to be looking for, rather than do you can change the people in charge of UEFA. You've got the power to vote the right people in. We haven't, but I mean football has, and they can then run it better and do what's best for football because they're not got self interest and want to do what's best for their team. If you see what I mean. Does that make sense, Deeps? I hope so. Because I don't know if
Yeah,
I
it does.
yeah, because it's just like I mean, the reason why I was asking about Formula One earlier is because this is my analogy: is Formula One for years been run by the teams. A couple of years ago, it got
Yeah,
taken
like
over by a separate company. They've taken the power away from the teams and basically telling them this is how it's going to be. And suddenly the product's turned from being absolute crap, really boring thing, to being really exciting the last 2 seasons. So
oh bloody hell, Rob is back at it again, talking with himself.
I know he's arguing with himself. He always does this. And the Premier League needs to set up. They already do produce. They already have a production that sends out worldwide. The footage is all done on one. It's the same set of cameras and that do it. Sky and BT, what they do is they provide their own commentary to it. It's the same set of footage
No,
worldwide.
but no, but I think what Nathan is trying to say is, should they stream the matches themselves and not
Well, this is the
distribute it
problem
to
is
IMDb?
the clubs want their own, do it themselves. Want to do their own streaming services rather than give it to the FA or the
Yeah, exactly.
UEFA
Why
or
would
exactly the same
Manchester
problem.
United would rather negotiate the deal themselves than
Exactly.
the
And this is where
because
this is what
they're
I'm
gonna get
saying,
more money.
self-interest. They don't want to give up the money to. They don't want to share the income with Burnley, and that's
Yeah,
where it
it
goes
would
wrong.
result in a similar situation with what happened in Spain a few years ago.
Yeah, and look how
When the
bad it
money
went for
isn't
them.
distributed similarly, then
And they've
the
had to
lower
change.
teams are going to be financially crippled.
Yeah, and this is what I don't understand is why is nobody looking at what happened in Spain and the reason why they've had to go and put a wage cap and what they've had to renegotiate. Now they negotiate their TV deals the same way the English league does, as a group, because of the mess it was making financially of their league. It was an absolute disaster. It was falling apart. So why is now the Premier League got why have they now got all these teams saying, well, we don't need to do that anymore. Let's do our own. Idiots.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not learning
Nobody
lessons,
wants to share it anyways.
are they? Nobody's learning lessons from the past, which is what you should be doing. That's what it's there for, is to learn from, or should be.
How the hell do we get a buyer for Naby freaking Keita?
Yeah, we'll do that as the last question. I think it's quite simple, Bazza. When they move to this new system, they won't need a buyer because he'll be banned.
Will he?
Yeah, well, because he won't play for Liverpool, will he? And then they'll YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Apologies, you're not getting a video at the moment. Oh no, no data. Oh, it's gone. Stream's broken down.
And I think that is good enough for us right
I
now.
think we'll just have to call
And
it there, won't we? Oh it's
I
come
will
back now.
probably have.
Sorry about that. I think we had a break-in thing now, so we're going to end it soon anyway. So,
Oh,
because
let's just say we're.
Deeps has to go for his mummy's calling, he has to go for his din-dins. So we'll just
Okay,
say navigator. We'll just give
comment.
him away, whatever.
Yeah,
Just get rid.
yeah. Whoever runs the fastest to Anfield is gonna get Naby. No money involved.
Nobody will be
Maybe they
racing.
will
Nobody
even
will
give
be
us.
rushing, will they? Everyone will be walking. So let's face it, nobody wants him. Anyway, we're gonna call it there.
Why
So
would anybody?
yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's end on this. there is a comment from Mikey Byrne. Sorry if I butchered your name. I can see the Super League just attracting the money-grabbing players, not the players who want to compete and win things. It will be like a version of the Chinese Super League. It might well be. That's a very good comment if you ask me.
Yeah, that is exactly what'll happen. So you'll just have players like Ibrahimovic,
Oscar,
Cavani, players like that.
hey,
That's all you'll have. The ones looking for one last payday. That's what you'll end up with.
how dare you bring Cavani's name into all this? I'm off now. Sorry, guys. I'm
he's,
offended.
he's going for the cry. Okay, thanks for listening. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna call it there. We only did a quick one this one, but we'll do this again next time there's anything interesting in the news, or maybe if some of the other editors are about later and want to talk about it. Take care and thanks for listening. Bye bye. Say bye,
Goodbye.
peeps.
Okay, bye bye, Chris.
Yeah.
See you
Okay.
soon.